Alright, I love these fact videos, man. These are fun for me. I like learning random things about everyday stuff. I mean, it's just one of those situations where you don't really understand how extraordinary or ordinary life is until you seek to discover more about it. Yeah, shouts out to everybody been showing me love the past couple of days. There's been a couple people just like super toxic in the comment section. And to those people, I would like to say this. Get the fuck out. We don't want you here. If you just feel the need to talk shit, whatever, it's my opinion. I can say what I want. Well, say what you want somewhere else. We are here to have a good time, okay? Get the fuck out, man. I understand that sometimes there's some criticism in the comment section. That shit's fine, you know what I mean? Getting different compilations of other stuff, reacting to certain trailers, saying things a better way, whatever. That stuff is fine. But to the people that are just talking shit to the other people in my comment section, hey, fuck you, man. We don't fucking want you here, bro. Off we go to the video. I don't know how well that's gonna work out. It probably just gonna look like, you know what? Let me just do it better. Too much. Fuck it. Take two. Off we go to the video.
That's too much sauce. Hermes in it.
That's it. Does that loosen it up a little bit? No, honestly, let's get into it. This is the doorbell ring. I wonder who it is. Coming. Okay, I'm back. It was a guy trying to sell me better internet, which is unfortunate because the internet just went out from that company here. And so now I'm really iffy about switching, but we will see what it does. It's actually not a bad deal. I might check it out, bro. This might be the hookup. But see, I think this thing goes up in price after a couple months. You always got to read the fine print, okay? And if he waives those fees, I'm in it. But if not, I might go somewhere else. But in the meantime, let's get into this. Every state in the United States, let's get our facts on. Every state in the United States in 15 minutes or less. It's by Wendover Productions. Now, Wendover Productions is a YouTube channel that I have seen before, but they don't, I mean, it's like they don't have a ton of videos up. Living on the Moon was a video suggested to me, and that was a really well-made video. Yeah, and this, you can tell this dude spends a lot of time and effort on his videos. So let's get into this. This will be a fun one.
US by Wendover Productions and made possible by the Great Courses Plus. We'll start with Alabama, the first state alphabetically. Magnolia Springs, Alabama is the only town in America to have their mail delivered by boat, although the longest mail delivery route in America is in rural Oklahoma, where delivery drivers have to drive 187.6 miles each day to deliver the mail to around 200 houses. Oklahoma's state vegetable is the watermelon, which happens to be a fruit. And Oklahoma is also home to Kansas.
Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oklahoma state vegetable. I'm Googling this. It is actually the watermelon. They're serious. And the official fruit is the strawberry. This man is not playing. Okay.
The real Kansas, or more specifically this point, is the geographic center of the contiguous United States.
Nice.
What Kansas is not home to is Kansas City, which counterintuitively is in Missouri, where the population center of the U.S. is, the average location of every American. Missouri borders 8 states, and is therefore tied with Tennessee as the state that borders the most other states. Tennessee was a southern state that seceded from the United States and joined the Confederacy, except for Scott County, which seceded from Tennessee and formed the unrecognized independent state. Scott County didn't actually officially rejoin Tennessee until 1986. Tennessee's western border was originally defined by the course of the Mississippi River, which has since changed course, which has led to all these enclaves and exclaves of the two states on the two sides of the river. The Arkansas River, a major tributary of the Mississippi, begins all the way in Colorado, where nobody's entirely sure which mountain is the tallest, Mount Elbert or Mount Massive, since their heights are within
but wait a minute. Mount Elbert is bigger.
Feet of each other, and people keep building piles of rocks on the summits to make one mountain taller than the
What the fuck? What?
Or Mount Massive,
what?
Since their heights are within 10 feet of each other, and people keep building piles of rocks on the summits to make one mountain taller than the other.
Why?
Colorado is also home to America's longest continuous street, Colfax Avenue in Denver at 26 miles long.
Jesus.
But the shortest individually named street in America is reportedly McKinley Street in Bellefontaine, Ohio at a mere 28 feet long.
28
Ohio's northernmost
feet?
point is actually north of Canada's southernmost point, Pelee Island. Pelee Island
Is the northernmost point of Ohio is Canada's southernmost point. Got it.
Canada, in fact, is farther south than parts of 27 states, including California, which as a state has a higher population than the entire country of Canada. Los Angeles, California, despite being on the Pacific Ocean, is east of 6 state capitals, including Nevada's. Nevada has the point in the entire United States where you're farthest from a McDonald's, only 116 miles. Although Nevada is not the state with the fewest
It's
McDonald's.
not Nevada, it's Nevada. Motherfucker.
Title goes to the state with 29 McDonald's, North Dakota, which according to some legal experts wasn't technically a state until 2012, since their constitution was missing this sentence, which meant it didn't fulfill the federal requirement for stating the fewest McDonald's. North Dakota is not America's least populated state. That's Wyoming, which has 2 sets of escalators in the entire state. Wyoming is well known for hosting Yellowstone National Park, although a bit of it spills over into Idaho. Though in this section, you can get away with murder. You see, with the 6th Amendment, if you're placed on trial, it's required that you are judged by a jury of your peers, which means individuals from the same state and federal district as where the crime was committed. Yellowstone is its own federal district, meaning you need residents from Yellowstone to be on the jury.
Right.
Although if you were in the Idaho part, you need Yellowstone residents from Idaho to be on the jury. Except this 50 square mile section is entirely uninhabited, so they wouldn't be able to form a jury, which means you'd walk free. There's also
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't walk free. They would. They would not let that happen.
one single road connecting
Or maybe they would. ACLU, are you out there?
the entire southern section of Idaho to the northern section. Idaho, with its fairly low population, has one single telephone area code for the whole state.
Wow.
Just like neighboring Montana. Montana is home to the least busy commercial airport in the U.S., Dawson Community Airport, at 4,000 passengers per year, or about 11 per day. Missoula, Montana is also home to the warehouse of DFTBA, where you can buy one of these, a Wendover Productions t-shirts, for only $20. The
Nice.
link is in the description.
Nice.
The busiest airport in America is Atlanta's, at 49 million passengers per year, or 135,000 per day. Peachtree, a suburb of Atlanta, is a community that has 90 miles of golf cart specific roads adjacent to its normal roads, since 9,000 families here have golf carts as their second cars.
What?
Kids are even encouraged to drive to school from the age of 12 in their golf carts. Georgia, or more specifically Springer Mountain, Georgia, is the start to the 2,200-mile-long Appalachian Trail, which is a hiking trail that terminates all the way up at Mount Katahdin, Maine.
Jesus.
Maine is the only state in America to only border one other state, and it's also the closest state to Africa. Seriously, it's closer than Florida. The second closest
Really?
state to Africa is Massachusetts,
What?
or more specifically Cape Cod, Massachusetts, which is technically an island, since a man-made canal separates it from the mainland. Massachusetts is actually farther from Miami than Panama City is, and Miami is closer to the country capitals of Nassau, Bahama, and Havana, Cuba than its own state capital, Tallahassee. Florida has the lowest highest point of any state,
It has the lowest, highest point. Okay.
312 feet, 23 times lower than South Dakota's highest point. South Dakota is home to the geographic center of the entire United States, if you include Alaska and Hawaii. And it was made a state a mere 9 days before Washington, which was called Columbia before it became a state. Its name was changed as to not confuse it with the District of Columbia, but obviously that didn't work out, since D.C. City ended up being called Washington. Washington Place is the official residence of Hawaii's governor, and Hawaii was given its own unique currency during World War II that was its only legal tender, so that, in case the Japanese successfully invaded Hawaii, the federal government could declare all of Hawaii's currency worthless to prevent the Japanese from using it.
Wow.
The closest state to Hawaii is Alaska, whose capital, Juneau, has no roads
Juneau.
connecting it with the rest of Alaska or North America, meaning you can't drive in or out. Alaska is also one of the 4 states that completely bans outdoor billboards, along with Hawaii, Maine, and Vermont,
Wow.
whose tallest building is only 11 stories tall. That's the shortest, tallest building of any state.
stories?
The tallest building in the States is Freedom Tower in New York. New York is home to Ellis Island, or at least part of it. Their territory is completely surrounded by New Jersey, similar to Liberty Island, home to the Statue of Liberty, which is completely surrounded by New Jersey waters, which means you need to travel through New Jersey to get from New York to New York. Clinton Road in West Milford,
awesome.
New Jersey has America's longest red light, a full 5-minute wait.
Get the
New
fuck
Jersey
out of
actually
here.
goes surprisingly far
I'm not
south,
waiting a goddamn 5-minute red light.
farther south than Kentucky's northernmost point. In its southwest corner, Kentucky has a rather large piece of territory that's not actually connected to the rest of Kentucky. Kentucky was the birthplace of Lincoln, who was later elected to the Illinois House of Representatives, and in
Facts.
Illinois is the original Burger King. But it's not the Burger King you're thinking
What?
of. This Burger King existed before this Burger King, and therefore sued Burger King when they came to Illinois for trademark infringement and won. So now no Burger King is allowed to operate within a 20-mile radius of this original Burger King. Chicago, Illinois,
Is it still open, the original Burger King?
America's third largest city, is just a tad bit larger than the fourth largest city, Houston, Texas. And Texas is so
Hey,
enormous
Houston.
that El Paso, Texas is closer to Los Angeles than it is to Houston, Texas. Texas's northernmost point is also closer to Michigan than it is to its southernmost point. From Detroit, Michigan, you actually end up in Canada if you travel due south. And Michigan is the only state to be made of two entirely separated sections. Michigan's Highway 185 is actually a bike path, making it the only official highway in America where cars are banned. Michigan's Upper Peninsula is also only connected by land to Wisconsin, which is home to the Green Bay Packers, a team so popular that the waiting list for season tickets is 30 years long. It's so long that it's common for parents to put their kid's name on the list as soon as they're born. In Watertown, Wisconsin
Damn.
is Utah Street, but the real Utah has the longest section of interstate in the US with no gas stations, 106 miles on I-70.
Who could make
I-70
that trip?
ends over 2,000 miles away in Baltimore, Maryland, and the entire state of Maryland has 0 natural lakes. It also has this panhandle that reaches a minimum width of 1.8 miles before expanding back out to 30 miles width out near West Virginia, which is definitively a southern state, but also has this panhandle that reaches as far north as New York City and Nebraska. Minowi, Nebraska is the only incorporated municipality in the United States that has a population of 1. The one resident, Elsie Eiler, is mayor and runs the library and tavern, which is granted a liquor license every year by Elsie herself.
I am the only one.
Tortilla Flat, Arizona is 6 times larger than Minowi since it has 6
Wait, Tortilla?
residents. And Arizona also has 1/4 of the Four Corners Monument, the only point where 4 states meet in the US.
True.
Arizona, Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico,
Anybody
which
been?
as a
Not
state,
that exciting.
by law, still recognizes Pluto as a planet. New Mexico
Damn.
is typically the last state to vote in presidential primaries, whereas Iowa is usually the first. Iowa is the only state in the US whose eastern and western borders are both water. In this case, rivers. The eastern border is the Mississippi River, which happens to be the namesake for Mississippi. The Mississippi River also flowed backwards for a full 24 hours in 2012 during
Backwards?
Hurricane Isaac. But the Mississippi doesn't actually reach the ocean in Mississippi. It does so in Louisiana, home to the longest bridge over water in the world at 24 miles.
24
That's so long that for
miles?
8 of those miles, you can't even see land on either
Oh,
side.
hell
One of the other longest
no.
bridges in the US is in North Carolina, the Virginia Dare Memorial Bridge, which carries cars out to Kitty Hawk, where the Wright brothers successfully flew a heavier-than-air aircraft for the first time in history. It was a 12-second, 120-foot flight. That's shorter than the wingspan of a Boeing 747. North Carolina's southern neighbor is South Carolina, although South Carolina isn't all that south, since more than half of it is north of North Carolina's southernmost point, and South Carolina also has a town called North, making it North South Carolina. South Carolina was the site of the first Civil War battle, and the Civil War ended up having a total of 1 battle over in Indiana, where the Indy 500 Speedway is, which is so enormous that you could comfortably fit the entire country of the Vatican inside it. It can also fit 400,000 people, which is the highest capacity of any sports arena in the world. Indiana's state beverage is water, while Oregon's is milk. Portland, Oregon is also home to
Water?
the world's smallest park, according to the Guinness World Records book, Mill End Park. Oregon is also one of the few states to not have a sales tax, along with New Hampshire, the only state to have no law requiring adults to wear seatbelts. Connecticut Lake, in New Hampshire, is the source of the Connecticut River, which is what Connecticut, the state, is named after. Hartford, Connecticut's airport, at less than 3 million passengers per year, is the smallest airport in the US to have a direct flight to Europe. Delaware, on the other hand, certainly doesn't have a direct flight to Europe, since it's the only state that you can't fly to. There's not one commercial flight in or out of this tiny state. It's the second smallest state behind Rhode Island, which is so small that the entire state grows by 3% during low tide. Rhode Island's second largest city, Warwick, shares its name with Warwick, Pennsylvania. And in Pennsylvania is Centralia, where the ground has been on fire since 1962 due to a coal mine fire, and it's expected to burn for over 200 years.
What?
Pennsylvania borders Minnesota. Well, not really, but Pennsylvania Avenue does intersect Minnesota Avenue in DC, and Minnesota is home to the northernmost point in the lower 48. You see, most of the US-Canada border is defined by the 49th parallel, but a surveying error led to this. The couple hundred residents of this area, called the Northwest Angle, are completely cut off from the US and need to pass into Canada, then back into the United States to go to school. Also in northern Minnesota is Virginia, the town, but Virginia, the state, is massive. So massive that Ewing, Virginia is closer to 8 other state capitals than to its own state capital, Richmond. Alexandria, Virginia is actually closer to Toronto, Canada than it is to Ewing, Virginia. Virginia also happens to go farther west than West Virginia. Virginia is also home to this place, the headquarters of the teaching company who run the Great Courses Plus. And with that super smooth transition, I do have to thank the Great Courses Plus for sponsoring this video.
Very nice. Man, make sure you go check out Windover Productions, man. That shit was nice. How the hell? That shit is so fucking smooth, bro. Damn, that was fucking nice. I would love to know how long it took him to put this whole video together. You know, I'm gonna check this out. But I think it'll be a couple days before I put this video out. So just know, I shot it now, but this ain't when I watched this video. Very good, man. I was trying to think of some facts about Vegas that you guys wouldn't heard, of Nevada that you would not have heard in this video, but apparently he doesn't know that it's Nevada, not Nevada. Everybody who's not from Nevada calls it Nevada, and that's how you know that he's not from here. Let me know something about your state. I'm gonna be reading in the comment section of this one. This will be a fun one. I'll see you guys in the next one. ChavezzSlovakia. Peace out, yo.